Calipos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of Tap Send. People, Tap Send is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana. If you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download Tap Send on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on Tap Send.
Tap Send. Send more, spend less.
Okay, guys, remember about SBTV Africa, so names about social issues, entertainment, SBTV Africa. Program where there Friday, thank God it's Friday. Now, Friday be out in 5:30 boy. Mene lawyer wisdom akaho, wise man solicitors or UK, London. Then about train come. Time as soon to more questions so making sure say important. Over joining here. Question be a concern be about UK. UK. Here formation be. Ghana. So call UK. Here be any info be out here. Important part. No drop a questions in the mano. I say. Na ono so be answer nti muntie the other back and very important. Mami go straight without wasting my time. Na me lawyer wisdom akao and so. Lawyer, where's hello?
Yo, DJ F1.
My phone so far.
How are
Lawyer wisdom akao, wise man solicitors. More fire. And then lawyer, but lawyer. Nana, other lawyer no way or
Lawyer Francis or the other office.
Okay, you there, Mate. What about there? Yensha say, and also, yeah, sure, then. Yeah, sure, the band then.
You made us say that you share with a TFO and I share point. And then I'm going to say, different routes are Crophobia was so let me switch it to another route. I would say a minimum war. There are different options. Ewo Chrome ha. Ebi wo parent roots so. As a parent, ebi so as partners, ebi so ewo as students. Ebi so etna Chrome ha for 20 years. Ansana yedi asetina no edi mawom. Now roots bia any niya yedi be mawo no so. Ebi yeme ebi no 5 years. But the amount 2.5 years, and son with me are indefinite. And I hear you for so the amount of 5 years, and son with me are for indefinite. Now, British for British for and now parent rootness. So normally, Sanipano Ewoha as a parent, I am a mom 10 years, and son with me as switching. Obin Sufigana na waba, a be near money. First of all, your man is 3 months on camera. Or do here not your man of the remaining assistant I want on the card. So, and the anonymous possession said, Roots Benson, now, if you were 10-year root no so, who bet me out switch you to another category. And now we are students in poor, who bet me out switch I call another route so and then no, I know not me per se, yeah, a channel, enumerate.
Nice one. And a lawyer. Yanko ATO. More questions to move from Ra. And yes, obey we na about baby message me say questions here. Then your live or Facebook, SBTV Africa page, and your live so YouTube, SBTV Africa page. Into comment section no for questions in the bra. Time no do yeah, the better one no ankasa or answer more questions in the opposite obisa ne biano. Share link the ma now for no omo face problems near the omo here mo near the no metie bi we are very important omo metie bi who question be later who say dey we nyina bi who question be obisa no one we bisa no who other questions be so person who bisa na we are concerning UK assembly can enye Canada ni Europe ni Asia assembly you can UK assembly or a UK man anything concerning UK biano after topic we no obisa no question obisa no we other matters so as a lawyer other matters so we optime bisa other question
Me part
the different we obisa maybe I go through we pass it through here lawyer say on my advisor me part your type or comment section ho nti sisi a me be hand over my lawyer wisdom akaho wise man solicitor lawyer over to you.
Yo, me that say. I likely say Bia Francis will join it later, but I am handling it, so I'll look to me back soon, so then we can take it from there.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. So number one, say obi ewo krom ha on the spouse route no so. Assuming say owo UK ha your man are sitting for 10 years because if I went to me and meet some requirements and they are man 10 years now. You need to 10 years spouse route this one. And just say I'm man 10 years straight away. I'm about 2.5 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. That is 4 times. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 4 times. And some one indefinite leave to remain. So there are some people in that category that have been given uh, they have been put on the 10-year route. Now, Cesanetia, it is possible to switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route if you meet certain requirements. I'll come on the requirements later. So yes, if you meet certain requirements, it is possible to switch from the 10 years to the 5 years. In the instance, not the 10-year route ni so no. Nyama bi wo so yeah, another application to switch from the 10 years now they are called the 5-year route ni so. So that is very important to take note of. Then, so obi ewo krom ha nso as a parent, ebia wo krom ha, wo ba a wo ba no yɛ British citizen, and because of wo ba na wɔyɛ British citizen nti, yɛama wo asetena. But na wo ni asetena nti, yɛde wo bɛtu the 10-year route ne so. Ɛno nso under appendix FM section LTRPT, ɛno yɛ parent route ne so. Yɛde wo to Appendix FM section LTRPT in Iswa, you will be given 2.5 years, another 2.5 years, 2.5 years, and 2.5 years, which is a total of 10 years before you get your leave to remain here indefinitely. Now, so 1% ubetsna that 10-year route, that is 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 Niswa. Then it is also possible for you to switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route Nisu. So that is also possible to switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route as a parent. It is 100% possible. Now, it is also possible, let me talk about the documents for such categories of people. That is from parent 10 years or partner 10 years. You want to switch to the other route. So if you're on a parent or if you're on a spouse 10 years and you want to switch to the spouse 5 years, you would need a list of documents. You would need your marriage certificate. And as a new marriage employer, you need proof of residence with the other party for 2 years, cohabitation for 2 years, and that would meet the definition of GEN 1.2. That is the definition of a partner. That will meet the partner's definition under GEN 1.2. So, that is one requirement satisfied. Then you need pay slips for some number of months. Over here, bank statement for some number of months, as in 6 months. Over here, letter from employer. You need evidence that one may say the English language requirement. The English language requirement. No, you have to prove that you meet at least level A2 in the UK and now or degree, and based on a you'll be able to switch from the 10-year partner route to the 5-year partner route. So the same partner, you don't have to change partners. The same partner, you can base your application on your same partner and you switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route. But as I said, which also said, you meet the financial requirement. So the relationship requirement has to be satisfied. The immigration status requirement will have to be satisfied. the English language requirement will have to be met, and then the um, relationship, immigration, financial, and English language. You have to meet the financial as well. So relationship means you are still in a relationship with your partner on whom you were first given the 10 years, the 2.5 years under the 10-year route. And then you also have to show that you have now written the English language, you have 2.5 years, which is fine. You still have the valid 2.5 years leave to remain. And then you have to meet the financial requirement, which is the 18,600. And so just say, when you're 18,600, and now when you kuno, and now when you know, Muye Juma, Sika Munya in a year is more than 18,600 pounds a year. That is before tax. So if you can prove that, and then you can also prove, say, why your English language test no at level A2, what pass it, and you can also provide your pay slips, bank statements, letter from your employer, and also provide your tenancy agreement. In that case, you can switch from the 10-year partner route to the 5-year partner route. It is 100% possible to switch from the 10-year partner route to the 5-year partner route. Yɛfiri hɔ a, ebia obi nso wɔ ha as a parent, wowɔ ba, wo ba no nti, yɛde wato the friend is saying, yɛde wato 10-year route no so, wo ba no nti, yɛma wo 10 years, 2.5 years on the 10-year route no so. So saa na ɛte a, is it possible to also switch? Yes, 100%. It is also possible for you to switch from the 10-year parent route to the 5-year parent route. Now, these applications are quite technical, so I would always advise that we will be and you want to switch, I would always advise you to seek a legal advice. Please seek a solicitor's advice to help you to do that application. You don't have to. If you know what you are doing, you don't have to get a solicitor. But if you don't understand, then you must as well go for a solicitor who can help you, or a legal representative, not necessarily a solicitor, but a legal rep who can help you to put in your application to switch from the 10 years to the 5-year route. Obi Bakasa or Sami was sitting and then there is no need to worry from switching from 10 years to 5-year route. Well, it's up to you, because as sitting on our one say switch echo 5-year route. Technically, after 5 years, when you're indefinite, a crow emrano sisa every now and then. 10 years no so one share not anything can change, and then instead of you switching earlier or getting your indefinite leave earlier, you may end up staying longer, which will not normally happen as long as you're on the route anyway. But it's always better to, shorten the time rather than to be on it for 10 years. Now, if you can do it for 5 years, why do you want to be on it for 10 years? If you can do it for 5 years, I don't see why you should remain on it for 10 years. Because also for 10 years, remember, sir, you have to be paying every time you go and make your application. Every time with the application, over to your home office fee. And your crown over to at least £2,608 to the home office. Now, if you reduce it from 10 years, you save yourself at least £2,608 plus another £2,608. You save yourself over £5,000. That's a lot of money. That can change a lot. That can really change a lot in your life. So please, this is just an advice, just general information. If you want to switch, you can always switch. If you want to switch, you can always switch. Right. Okay. If you want to switch, you can always switch. Let me put it that way. I'm just trying to send some information. That is why I'm a bit distracted. That is fine. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Another route that you can switch on is So if you want to switch from the 10-year parent route to the 5-year parent route, what documents do you need? Over here, when you still there's a relationship between you. When you still have relationship ongoing. And then as a set UG letters from the respective institutions, either the GP, the hospital, or the school. You can get all the supporting documents. There's a list of other documents that you can use to prove that there's a genuine relationship going on between you and your child. Now, once you get this over here letter from the spouse, from the child's mother, and that letter has to be drafted in a specific way. You need additional evidence of pay slips, bank statement. Then you can apply. Again, you need the certificate of level A2 to switch to the parent route. You need a certificate for level A2 to switch from the 10-year parent route to the 5-year parent route. So that is also very important. Then another route I also with me switching is the private line. A bit more on the private line, which means what's not Chroma for 20 years. 20 years nechi and yamano 2.5 years on the 10-year route. So in other words, yeah, where 20 years for Chroma and San Yamao. Where 20 years and San Yamao 2.5 years. And so 10 years and Sana. Wait me indefinite. In other words, which are 10 years on top of the 20 years, which makes it 30 years. 30 years and sana. Wait to me higher application for indefinite. A mere, I'll rather switch if there is the if there's availability of routes or options to switch. I'll rather switch than to remain on 10 years on top of 20 years, making it 30 years before I switch. That is going to be serious. That is going to be too much. Now, so person switching from the private line 10 years echo the spouse route in this one. What will you need? Again, once I will call spouse route in this, you need first of all your marriage certificate, and now you will need proof that you've lived with your partner for at least 2 years, which still puts you under the GEN 1.2 definition, which shows that you are here as a person who is a spouse, or as a partner. So that you can do. But also, if you want to switch from Lawyer Francis, you're welcome.
Thank you, Lawyer Wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to switch from the 10-year private life route to the 5-year partner route, no, na my boss no say, as so worry ni pano, as so with the evidence, I can why just say you've been here for 10 years. I mean, sorry, you are here as a spouse or as a partner and then you can switch to the 5-year route. No, so some will meet the financial requirement, the 18,600, either jointly or one of you would have to show that they meet the financial requirement of 18,600. Once that is satisfied, then you need to meet again the English language requirement to switch from the 5-year 10-year private life route. No, they are called the 5-year parent or partner route. No, so my Sisubio, you're switching from 10 years private life route to 5 years partner route. So 10 years private life to 5 years partner route. So then another aspect is that you can also switch from the 10 years private life to 5 years parent. Near kindly a partner. So you can switch from 10 years private life to 5 years partner. You can also switch from 10 years private life to 5 years parent. So these are routes you can switch on. So there are two different requirements: 10 years private life to 5 years partner, or 10 years private life to 5 years parent. One is partner and the other one is parent. It is also possible to switch from the 10 years private life to the 5 years parent route. Now, how do you do that? You have to show, sir, as I would there's a relationship ongoing between you. First of all, as I say, waba ewu krom ha ana wo ho kafo eba you can do that. Show that you are involved in the child's life, and see letter from school, GP, and other places that you need to support the application. As I said, omitted the maintenance requirement. There's a difference between the maintenance requirement and then the financial requirement. A lot of people get it mixed up. So we are emphasizing on the maintenance requirement. Set, oh, switch your parent route now. You only have to meet the maintenance requirement. So, oh, switch your partner route this one. You need to meet the financial requirement. I will say it again. If you are switching to the parent route, you meet the maintenance. Parent maintenance. Parent route maintenance. Partner route financial requirement. Partner route financial requirement. Parent route maintenance requirement. So these are the differences. You don't mix the two. If you mix it, you can easily get yourself uh, into trouble by getting a refusal. So make sure you are on the right route. So if you want to switch from the 10-year private life to the 5 years parent route, you need some documents. Like I started mentioning, you will need to prove that there's a genuine relationship between you and your child. That is requirement. And of course, you also need to prove that you meet the English language requirement at level A2. You need to show that as well. Very important. You need to show that you meet the maintenance. I have mentioned that already. You need your pay slips, your bank statements, and of course, you need a letter from the employer to show that you meet all of that. Now, the content of those documents, especially the letter from employer, I know they said, if you instruct us, then we can give you the details as to what to must be in that letter. We can't we can't exhaust everything over this 1 hour period. We can't, we don't have time to exhaust. So when you call us, you book appointment, you come in, we sit down, then we show you what to do. And sometimes, yeah, quiet me more letter, no. Na nea yɛpɛ sɛ employer no kyerɛ no na wɔatwerɛ wo mu na wɔde aba. Now we can use that to support the application on your behalf. Another route you can also switch from to in the 5-year route category near say, assuming you are here on a student visa. Me remember Lawyer Francis I shared the human rights, switching from the human right 10-year to the either parent or partner route. I'll let Lawyer Francis look at that. So be our human rights to 10-year route. So I want to switch to the partner route as a parent or as a Lawyer Francis. Oh, I'm so freeze you.
Oh, yeah.
Network.
I think so.
All right. So I'm looking at the students,
Yeah.
and then I'll look at the health and care route. So then I'll let Francis look at the human rights. We'll be also for 10 years to switch to either partner or parent route. So, and then we open the floor for any questions that may come through today. And it's Obiwa as a student now. During the period of being a student, not the circumstances as a son, ABR or student route for 1 year or 2 years, or even 3 years. Now, whilst our Oko school, Wakoshi Duffel be, and now during that period, or one us or bar, and so it's possible to switch from the student route to a partner route or us to a parent route. Again, you will need some documents. Again, you will need some number of bank statements, some pay slips. You need to meet the financial requirements, which is set out in the immigration rules. You need to meet the English language requirements, and those details I think we can always give when we meet, and then we give you a comprehensive list of documents that you need to use for that application. So student, yes, you can switch from the student route to the partner route, or from the student route to the parent route if you have a child in the UK. Now, gone are the days where people come as students that you can do one course here, now stretch it for do 10 years, then you get your indefinite. So say no, you can't keep switching for 10 years. You cannot switch for 10 years. I think the threshold or the cap has been capped for 5 years. And the other 5 years now capped to show set what now for 5 years, 10 years that you need to switch into another category genuinely, and that you can carry on with your application. So in the case of a student, yes, so Waria will be our British citizenship and now will be our indefinite leave to remain. then of course certainly you will be able to switch into that category. And now so worry obim for our 2.5 limited leave to remain our back. No, it is also possible to switch to that category. But remember, sir, these applications, it is not just about filling the form and signing the application. It involves more than that. And you can fill the form, no, what they call now I'm refuse here. It becomes more difficult to correct the mistakes that have been made. Then so the man lawyer not say or yeah application nema will straight away. It is always better to avoid the pitfalls, to avoid the errors from the start, rather than to cause the error and then come back to correct it. It becomes a bit messy if the error has been committed already. So please take note of that. So that is it. It is possible again to switch from the student route 1 year to a partner route when you marry. It is also possible to switch from the student route 1 year, 2 years to the parent route if you have a child. So these are the routes that you can switch from one category to another. Remember, lawyer Francis Ashe, so be our 10-year route, no, so maybe through the private life or through maybe a medical condition. The year binti, Yamana 10-year route, Yamana 2.5 years on the 10-year route, is it possible to switch or how they can switch to the parent route and to the partner route? And then say your time background. So I'll look at the skilled labor route, switching to the partner or parent route. And then if we have any questions, we can look at. So Lawyer Francis, can you please tackle the human rights route, 10-year human rights, how to switch to the partner or parent and the documents they would need as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lawyer Wisdom, for taking us to up to this stage. Yeah, I hear for main chair can see if we wise man solicitors said no. Yeah, DJ also a big come out, maintain one car. Yo, the TN is me about your feedback, no, and I okay. Okay. Yo, the TN is normally some applications you are and can private life, no. Yeah, na ejina ebia medical conditions and the dema and now say ebi also was sitting out with the atena wo krom ha no or long residence no near the mouth on the and I say on the basis of a private life no your mouth such an application near the auto 10-year route now akwan jabia enni ho say ubetumi aswitch the wo no but say wo parent route partner route now your parent route now bia now wo akola oti krom hanuma ye wo no ha wanya asitina fibol or ye British ni wujina ne so e dia ye nkrata and only a parent route and now say even we a stepchild to we a stepfather and also a step parent to akola na ubetumi ejina ne so there a TN is a parent route no and ma akwan jasa ubetumi switch from the 10-year route to the 5-year route by meeting the straight requirements. There are requirements be how I will say we meet in order to switch. Now I think it's a time factor you prefer say mobile free now de ube here on one a 2 minute work ho asem. Enya no nko a bi so our partner route no. No so no woda so yeah na bibinti 1 meet initial 2.5 no. Inti na I was say you do to 10-year route as a partner. Partner is saying say what worry under the Gen 1.2 no. Say what worry obna say what worry ubetimi approval with your marriage certificate. And now say my cohabitation for 2 years. And now say you are in the civil partner. And now say civil relationship. And a cohabitation is say partner for 2 years. When certain happen, move to me in crata on the basis of the partner route. Partner route, if you meet the straight requirement, 5 years on the 5-year route. So when meet straight requirement now, and no, you do to 10-year route. Now doesn't mean say over that 10-year route now. Now train uber be meeting requirement now. Uber to me switch it from the 10-year route partner to the 5-year route partner. Yo, now lawyer wisdom discuss say your private life need as for no. Say you do to private life application so akwanja enni ho ma say obe switch. Me be cho yen se ni so e wo ho no mo. O say oh lawyer na we are switching it there na me. As long as I would have private life no, or bomodi imran say we say we twa ni nyina 10 years no. Say answer na when you are sitting affable being the settlement and I say indefinite route no. Inti application bia wo ne ho ensensan so ti normally you be prefer say who that situation na say wunni ma ko hu lawyer na or explain it because any application ni nyina na and I say any route ni nyina na obetumi aswitch to the 5-year route. Why? Yo lawyer wisdom, can we open for questions? Hello.
For the information, but just a little bit of where, sir, Obi what can exactly? Thank you so much, sir. Or the private life niswa, not say and one of us and all the way through. Say you have to do the 10 years, but in the instance, like I said earlier, in the instance where the person gets married, then they are able to move
Switch, yeah.
the parent route or to the partner route
Partner route, yeah.
if they are married, and the parent route if they have a child. So, Lawyer Francis, thank you for the clarification. So, let me emphasize again: if you're on the private life route, you cannot switch if your circumstance has not changed to partner or parent. You remain on that route. But if your circumstance changes, then you can switch either to the partner route or to the parent
Parent route,
route.
yeah.
So thank you so much. And see, DJ, sir, your questions here, we will be more than happy to carry on. Lawyer Francis, can you take the first one, please?
Oh, okay. I say good evening, DJ Yame. Please, my question is, after UK visit visa refusal, how many months does it take to reapply for the same visit visa that visit visa? Thank you, sir. Oh, okay, yeah. Question na yenua Evans Mensa Bani Ediaba no. Opese ohun say ye refuse visit visa. Time frame be na opese wo say ye foforo a wo betumi aye. The American say any time frame. Say bia refusal ni basis say wo bank statement ni nye correct. And now say wo bank statement no sika na ewom ni so a. Utimi hihye wo nioma yi a as soon as possible, Uber to me as I application no ebium Evans because they are who say tembiano say if you so visit visa, they want you to address the reason why you refuse to no. So person will say application bioma. Now I was saying that time kaka na ye share say bia financial bait no and also accommodation and also other things are full so bet me rectify or rectifier, you can come back and redo the application. It doesn't have a time frame, say you abandon for 1 month and sana wait me as your application. No. So I didn't know under the visit visa application. No.
Thank you. There's a second one. Would you like to take that one too, or I can handle that?
If you switch your student visa to the health care visa, but your employer or sponsor doesn't give you work or enough work, will it be possible to get your indefinite leave to remain after 5 years? Yeah, share student visa, near share health and care visa. So I'll switch it to health and care visa. Now employer ni ma as long as ukuta wo visa na enwuye ni de. Semra se time ni so se ukoje wo indefinite. Yeah, share the number of adwuma wo ye. Yeah, share wo residency wo di atina krom ha no mo. 5 years no what 5 years wa ha. ultimate prove say what because you don't to healthcare visa now until say what 5 years no ultimate call for indefinite. It is when you 5 years wa meet other requirements, even saying English language requirements, life in UK requirement, any other requirements now. Ultimate meet here now ultimate prove residency for 5 years wa and yeah juma wa ye any yeah she was sitting out with the two chroma. Have you been out of the country for out of the first 1 year no more than 6 months and 90 days and all these things are what they look at it. Into the mechanic say ultimate try prove 5 years what na chroma under the healthcare visa now per se call for indefinite acquire jawo provided you meet other requirements. Why?
Thank you, Lawyer Francis. There's one more. See, that is Nogba Eric. Hello, Nogba. Um, I say I'm a Ghanaian and I have girlfriend had British passport. We don't we don't child. Well, we don't have a child.
Child, yeah.
We want marriage. So I think what he's asking is, he is Ghanaian. He has a girlfriend that is British. They don't have a child and they want to get married. Now, it's possible. Now, the question is, are you in the UK or you are outside the UK? Now, if you're outside the UK, yes, you can get married. As long as you can prove that there is a genuine and subsistent relationship ongoing. So you need your all the supporting documents, the payslips, the communication, WhatsApp messages, telephone bills, telephone calls, maybe door to door, money transfer, all these things to show that there is actually something ongoing between you. Maybe pictures, she's come to visit you, you have pictures and all those other additional things to show that there is a genuine relationship ongoing. And of course, if you want to apply to come back in, then of course you need to meet the financial requirement, the English language requirements, and all the additional requirements you have to satisfy. So yes, the answer to the question is if you are outside the UK, it is possible even though you have no child. Now looking at a scenario where you are in the UK and you have no child, again, the answer to that question is can you marry? My answer is yes, you can marry. There is no child involved. Yes, you can marry because marriage is your human right. It has got nothing to do with your immigration. Whether you have the right to be in the UK, whether you have visa or not, your human right cannot be taken away from you as long as you can prove that the relationship is genuine. So, yes, you can marry. Article 12 of the Human Rights Act allows you to exercise your right to marriage. Yes. But after you have married, that is the second side of the question, which you haven't asked. After you've married, can you apply to stay in the UK? The question I have posed, the answer is you can apply, but it will be refused as long as you do not have the EX1 exception and or EX2 exception. The EX1 exception is there must be a child in the relationship. Now, if there is no child, if you apply, the application will be refused. If there is no child and you apply, it will be refused. The EX2 is there must be some insurmountable obstacle. That is, there must be a reason why you cannot go back to your country to apply to come back in. So if that happens, you can show that the other party has got some serious, compelling, compassionate medical grounds or circumstances. And because of that, they have to give you the stay to be here to care for your partner. If you can prove that, then yes, you can apply. But if there is no child, there is no compassionate circumstance in terms of medical reasons, the application will be refused. Unless you are here legally, your visa has not expired and you're not here as a visitor. You have a legal right to be here. And when you marry, whether there is a child or not, you are then able to apply to stay in the UK. Let me clarify this so that you don't misconstrue what I am saying. You don't misconstrue what I'm saying. If you are here legally, you can marry, you can apply, you get your stay. If you are here unlawfully, in other words, your visa has expired, you can marry, but to apply, there has to be a child or there has to be some medical reasons which makes you fall under EX2. That is insurmountable obstacle. Then you can apply. But if you don't have visa, you don't have a child, there is no insurmountable obstacle. If you apply, the visa application will be refused, and the Home Office will ask you to start reporting. One day you go and report, they'll tell you we want to interview you. They'll hold you for some time before you realize they take you to the detention center. From the detention center, if you're not careful, you are on your way to Kotoka. So you have to be very careful. And I would advise you in a situation like this to sit down with a lawyer, with your lawyer, with us. If you want us to help you, we are more than happy to assist you. But if you have your own lawyer, fine, you can speak to them and get the clarity before you proceed with any application on that basis. Lawyer Francis, there's another one. I see, can I use
Yeah.
my healthcare visa to work with another employer for only 20 hours a week and get my indefinite leave to remain up to 5 years if my main employer doesn't give me enough work? Lawyer Francis, you want to take that? I think you would.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Ivy Asari. Question, no, what I can say is every healthcare visa now, yeah, demand no. Before I say demand, they look at the certificate of sponsorship. It talks about a Juma ube to me aye, and a Juma emfa sa certificate of sponsorship no. Uko try say uko ya a year na adding a creative problem uko renew visa na. Into what we can say is if young family say oh healthcare or employer no running the same healthcare. Now what's our healthcare be or baby or no so obema 20 hours BBA and see unquai. Ube to me akoye 20 hours no. Now with the account who main employer need the no after 5 years who compare indefinite obien who be question wo. Home Office will never question you. They will give it to you. But say a healthcare visa. Now, would they acquire different field and as a different employment and falling under the healthcare visa now. When a year problem neighbor. Team if I say we send so I be said, sir, who konya the same healthcare company now who 20 hours now. Now, after 5 years, who could you indefinite? Unsabeka will indefinite, no, and our settlement, no. Why?
I remember Ivy Afraying. Ivy, so we're a number with me after the program for further,
Clarification, yeah.
follow-up questions on this particular one. Okay, there's a question, James. Okay, Nana say, I see if overstayed my visit visa by a year, but still return to Ghana voluntarily. Can I return back to the UK after 2 years? Of course, sir. Well, every application is handled on its own merit. Application they look at it on its own merit. They would never use your previous circumstances or your previous application reasons for the previous application to decide your current application. No. And to say what dia wuba no who can say who have it now for 3 weeks visit. And now buy no the kuroma be yo de panti wo se unko and what now 1 year ansa na wo say wo sign ever back and so wo another application na ekyerɛ sɛ wo buy no wankɔ te sɛ nea wo kaeɛ no na ɔmbɛka sɛ wonya nokwafo no nte ɛdeɛ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛsan de ma wo a woba a wobɛsan akɔ te sɛ nea first time na wobaeɛ wankɔ akɔ te sɛ ɛkyerɛ sɛ wobaeɛ no wankɔ ntam te sɛ nea wo kaeɛ no a ɛne deɛ ɛyɛ possible sɛ ɔbɛtumi de refuse so nanso te sɛ nea maka no wo circumstances asesa sɛ wo circumstance ɛsesa a then Of course, yeah, new application under different routes altogether, probably on a different category. Of course, it will be looked at in that category, assessed, and if you meet the requirements, then you give amount. But remember, sir, if you are coming back as a visitor again, then the fact that you overstayed the first time may affect your subsequent renewal as a person who is coming here as a visitor. So please take note of that. Lawyer Francis, is which of the visa is easier to get, a family visa or tourist visa? Lawyer Francis, you want to address that for him?
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate, sir. We can't tell you, sir, either the family visit or tourist visa will be easier. Because, so that lawyer wisdom can, every application is assessed on its own merit. Inti, won't mean can say me call family visa, you be me good, and I say you be me, let alone me call tourist visa, you be me. The tier is ni nyina no betumi apply under the standard visit visa no. But requirements, any the intention na ya or moshe. Into under the family visa now, they will look at your genuine intention. We say we will pay family visa no. Oko tourists in Swa, definitely they will look at the genuine intention. Inti anona yabese shene so rather than say, oh, my coffee visa where it's so easy for me to get. Home office needs a no. They want to see, say, genuine intention, whether you are applying for visit visa, a family visa, or you are applying as a tourist. Time also person oba abroche no as a family visa no. Eso a obeko back na debenti na oba as a family visa. All this needs to be answered. Oba for tourists in so a fa na abese woko. Who say my home office nini who say me pese me call as a tourist. These are the genuine intention. I was say would disclose it because one year I'm afraid say I'm refuse you. Now refuse you, it doesn't mean say obi koye family visa no need any demand no. Only bakono koye family visa no. Otimi influencing the case worker being the documents or the call the form of filling for cover letter money explaining the reason why I open family visa no. Now what I will call for tourists, Debe na be to media influence case worker na manager to say oba o call for tourists. Inti ni nyina gina how a obesisa wonioma ni nyina gina the intention behind the visa no. And no enebema case worker no be decide say me fama wa na say me fama na enye say family visa ABA easier than tourist. Go.
Thank you, Lawyer Francis. I'm grateful. There's a question, Prince Caventeria. Hello, Prince. I'll say, please, I want to travel to the UK, but I'm afraid to go through these agents who can run away with my money. Please, is there a genuine affiliate here in Ghana that you can recommend for me, sir? All right, thank you. Well, we don't have an office in Ghana. We don't have any office in Ghana. However, I think you can WhatsApp me or WhatsApp Lawyer Francis. We have some um, friends who are lawyers in Ghana who we can recommend to you to contact them. However, if you these days everything is online, everything is connected.
Yeah.
We make application for people. We are here in the UK, but we do application for people from Ghana to come to us in the UK. So what happens in such cases is uh, we only ask for the documents. You can scan the documents and email it to the lawyer. The lawyer will assess it, ensure that everything is correct, and on that basis, we can proceed, yes, to submit the application on your behalf. These days, everything is in the air, everything is connected. It doesn't matter where you are. Applications can be done from anywhere in the world, provided the documents are checked, assessed, and determined to be the right documents, the application comes. So yes, if you want us to help you, even though we are here, we are more than happy to assist you. But what we don't do, set ABIA connection area and we don't get involved in that. But if your documents are all correct, Lawyer Francis, myself, Lawyer Nanamwa, and everybody in this office, we are more than happy to submit your application for you. Thank you. Also, can my short stay visa be changed if I get a care worker job without coming back to Ghana? It is possible to change it's possible to switch from some categories to the health and care visa routes. Some categories can switch. I'm going to mention them. Your visa, if it falls within one of those circumstances or routes, then you cannot switch. One, if you're in the UK as a visitor, you cannot switch to the health and care. Two, if you're in the UK as a parent of a child student, you cannot switch. Three, if you're in the UK as a worker in a domestic household, worker in a domestic household, you cannot switch. Four, if you are here as a seasonal worker, those who come to pick fruits, short-term visa, you cannot switch. If you are here as a person who has been granted leave outside the immigration rules, you cannot switch. If you were here with what do you call it? You're here with on an immigration bail. In other words, you have no visa. You cannot switch. So these 6 or so categories, you cannot switch to the health and care worker route. Visitors, short term, yes. The last one is students who have 9 months visa. If you have 9 months short term student, you cannot switch. So short term student, 9 months, you cannot switch. Parent of a child student cannot switch. Visitors cannot switch. Private workers in a private household cannot switch. Overstayers cannot switch. Given leave outside the immigration rules cannot switch. So these categories you cannot switch. So if you're on a short-term visa and it falls in one of these categories, you cannot switch to the health and care worker routes. Lawyer Francis, there's one there.
It's the same Ivy under the healthcare visa. How long must you work with your employer before you can go and visit your home country? Ivy, what it is when you apply under the healthcare visa, you've been, maybe they might give you a year contract, 2 years contract. When you come to UK employment law, you are entitled to holidays. So out of your contract, they will state when you can take your holidays and how long you're going to take your holidays. Let me be in general in terms of the employment law. If you work for an employer for more than 6 months, you are entitled to 1 month accumulative holidays. So as you keep going ahead, what it is, the whole of the year, you're supposed to take 4 weeks holidays. So when you are picking your holidays, depending on the job you are doing, they might decide we need your services, or at that point in time, we can't allow each and everyone to go holidays. So maybe you might thinking, oh, I want to go on holidays. At that point in time, maybe December is the company's peak period. So if you want to take a holiday under a word December, the employer might be thinking, no, I don't want you to pick a holiday in December. You can take it before December or after December. But you are entitled to holidays depending on your work terms and conditions, the contract, how the contract says. Because some works, they have some months which are their peak period. So taking a holiday will be, if you want to take a holiday within their peak period, they might not allow you to take it. But it's best you negotiate with your employer. And they're always flexible to negotiate with you. If they can't afford within the month you are looking for, they will best explain to you the reason why they don't want you to take the holiday within this month. Maybe shortage of staff, maybe there are so many reasons they can give across. Into Ivy, that's what I can say in terms of say, when your healthcare visa, or start here Juma, now Juma no person will take annual leave holidays. We are entitled to. But as to when ubayano, ni nyina ne say woni employer no ebe negotiate. Ebi wo ha employer no who say o ma holidays, that be say ya ebi ebe affect the running of the company. Into ono betimi aka say okay, Mr. Ebia Easter no ya na a peak period. Uko ebe higher. Inti train after Easter no wako. And I said before Easter no, now the holiday is not too. See, that's how it works in UK.
Thank you, Lawyer Francis. Mr. Frank Apiakubi, say, can I bring my dependent children with leave to remain visa? Of course, you can apply for your dependent children to come to join you here in the UK if you have 2.5 limited leave to remain. And that application, you have to make it under Appendix FM, Section ECC. And no, actually said you can bring your children here. But there are requirements that you have to satisfy. I mean, every application you make has its own requirements that you have to satisfy. So you need to show the relationship. Some of you you may have to do DNA. They would not ask you for DNA, but in some circumstances or in some cases, you are best or better off providing the DNA. But it's not mandatory. You would also need to provide proof that if the kids are under 18 years, of course, you need to show that they are dependent on you. As the other parent is alive, as I said, we are solely responsible for school, DDA, Tarishim, hospital, COVID, was we are friends so responsibility. Sanity, you have to show that. And also, sir, if the other parent has passed, then over here, proof that the other parent is no longer alive. Death certificate. Of course, as such as maintenance, provided or depending on whether you are on partner route or you are on parent route. So what parent routes swap, you need to meet maintenance. So what partner route swap, you need to meet financial requirements, which I had talked about earlier. Then, of course, proof of remittances, money transfer receipts, and a host of other documents you need to use to prove that you are the one who exercise sole responsibility as far as the kids' lives are concerned. Tenancy agreement, and here there's some number of rooms to number of people, and see, you better check here said number of rooms now one. Does it meet the requirements? And I'm saying, yeah, okay, I remember say no, sister. Now, say we take a place which has 1 or 2 more rooms, and son of man, everything about. Of course, and also depends on how old the children are, because children under 18 years are left out of count; they are not counted, and so we need to know how old the kids are, and then what you need to support. So, the short answer to your question is, if you have limited leave to remain visa, as a parent or as a spouse, is it possible to bring your children to join you? My answer is yes, it is possible, provided you meet the requirements which I've outlined, but more details of it, of course, we can assist you. Now, when it comes to proving sole responsibility, there are some specific letters that you need to show. Those letters, we have our own standard, which we will let you have. Because Ukwakacha school is some more letter. Nyomba say we can confirm say Papa Bosompeng Ubano school ha opeso otu kwan enti assistance bi a ohia no Mumfama no.
money.
Sound that no. And your front yaka,
Baby.
your front to crew. Uncle Sibia, Uncle Hay. But yeah, mao. Send your person mutual na omusha sooner mutra. I can assure you, sir, a very successful. So those details we can give out when we meet one on one because it's very detailed. Yeah, everything I can within 1 hour, 1.5 hours on this program. But when we meet or you see your lawyer, wherever they are, they will be able to help you to know how to proceed with that application. But I always say, sir, the reason why I always say, lawyer, we are not saying what you found, Ebrayang. Near can say, oh, lawyer, with Nakohono. But if you want us to help you by virtue of the details we are given, you think we can assist you, please feel free, contact myself, contact Lawyer Francis, and we are more than happy to assist you every step of the way until Sewubano, Ebabeka Wonsa, our UK. Lawyer Francis, there is one more. I think you want to take it.
Yeah. Akwasi Jacobo or say of person who say the passport in the expire a few months. So can I use it to apply for visa? A few months no how many months are aka will buy expire. But me in a scenario in a general form. Emrana what say passport in Shisha and say passport no a car say 6 months na ba be wodi tu kwan a ebe haw nti we always recommend say ofo say month na ka where 6 months be ansana ebe the best thing is renew ansana wo edi akoye any application because say wodi application ebi a emphasis aka be 4 months and 6 months wodi koye application decision of the application be take time. And only be affected with passport, the expiry date, But say who Chroma now we use and no ye different. Your case a passport in the we call home officer. Eko who omoha omo decision na manache. But who would you call visa no? Would him say I can bear 2, 3 months, 4 months beer. Also would call your application no. Now say koda ho chair. Me can open visit visa about UK ha. Time I be make a decision. No passport no. Now, fair now, acquire passport for now visa no what could two ashema to always recommend say home passport in say na wo say I was say at least say I can less than 6 months for passport men try say with the copy visa rather would the renewal a year better in terms of decision wise ni na say for no and that's what I can say you know the question about no so per se okoje visa say a few months na wo see e kana ono na betimi aka few months na wo kana but it shouldn't be less than 6 months say less than 6 months I recommend say onkoye new passport and sana or the for visa.
Thank you. Nana say has asked another question. Was he still on overstay again? Planning to travel back to the UK after 2 years through Tier 2 or Tier 4 dependent visa. Would my 1 year overstay affect my application in Ghana? Would my 1 year overstay affect my application in Ghana? Now, I explained, sir, every application is considered on its own merit. And there are instances where there are switch from one switches from one category to another category. If you came to the UK with a visit visa and you overstayed for 1 year, you've gone back to Ghana, you are coming back again, this time as a Tier 2 worker, skilled worker, or as a Tier 4 student. The decision maker will take different view to that application. It will be looked at on its own merit. If you meet the requirements under the Tier 2 skilled labor route, you can be granted the visa to come. If you meet the requirements under the Tier 4 student visa route, of course, you will be granted the visa to come in. But remember, when you look at Section 320, Paragraph 320 of the Immigration Rules, which is the general grounds for refusal, a caseworker can say you try to circumvent or frustrate the intentions of the immigration rules by overstaying on your first occasion. One caseworker may overlook it, give it to you to come as a healthcare worker, and you will be fine. The same caseworker may look at it and say, okay, it's okay, after he's gone back, stayed for 2 years, he wants to come back in another category, then we can overlook it, you will be granted. Another caseworker may look at it and say, once you overstayed, you have frustrated the intention of the immigration rules when you first came. In other words, you were not to have stayed for a year, which you did. I cannot, we cannot give you a categorical answer by saying yes or no, because it will be left to the caseworker to make a decision whether your overstay is detrimental to your new application or should be disregarded. We cannot say yes or no. It also depends on the strength of the documents you are using to support your new application, either as a Tier 2 worker or as a Tier 4 student. That will depend on how the caseworker considers it. Some of these questions we cannot say yes or no because it's a human being that is going to weigh these documents and consider it in light with the guidance notes, with the immigration rules before they come to a conclusion. But it is more likely than not, that you will be granted the leave to come in either as a student or as a Tier 2 worker, provided you meet the requirements. More likely than not to be granted.
Nice one, lawyer Francis ni lawyer Wisdom Akao. And I believe we see kakra me say mo ngasa mo nya mo own combination. Ti mo mo operate mo. Guys, some of the journey idea me who say questions ni ba bebre. Intimidate the obisa passport expiring na me dey ato no. Me who say and questions but more questions mo fam bra fast na ye boss 7 e be ponti lawyer Francis ni lawyer Wisdom Akao. The obisa passport question and say expiring and date in that one.
Oh, okay. At least from what they were culture, or another some sort of 1 year. Into and then you obey me apply for the visa. No? Why?
Okay. So let's go. More questions. Hey. Lawyer Wisdom, my mic name mute you.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
I see that's Yaja Poma. I have 5-year ban to Canada with regards to misrepresentation. Can I apply for a nursing job in the UK? And what's my chance of getting the visa? I think you can apply. I would say you can apply. Once you have a sponsor who after assessing you and they determine that you are qualified to come to work as a nurse, or maybe the NHS has assessed you, you qualified, they checked your certificates, they checked your experience, and they think you can come to work in the UK. The fact that the Canadians have refused you does not mean that the UK does not want you. So you can, of course, apply to come back to the UK to work. I would say yes. Yes. Yes, Lord Richie. Lawyer Francis, can you take that, please?
Yes, Lord Richie. If someone overstayed his or her visa in the UK and is applying for a student visa in Canada or USA, will it affect the visa application? Yeah, it's similar to the Lawyer Wisdom Eka, This time, no, who apply for either Canada or USA. Because our student visa USA ni Canada were almost saying, ABA form so have we applied to almost 30 countries we say US UK before now? Yes, over disclose. At that time, no reason how the year would refuse to no. It's totally different from the whole year with Canada and USA. In Timem Kase at least because UK for a refusal no Canada and US student visa won't be refusal. There be every application be an acrobia one imra or the access movies. Inti Canada for the US or more as long as you meet the requirement for the student visa no unsa ebeka.
All right, another one I was so I'll say this is Evans Mensa Baini. A friend of mine applied for a UK visit visa, and she was refused. The caseworker acknowledged all the employment details. He said that her salary description details keep changing. The way forward. Well, the way forward is this. You see, sometimes we've talked about this visit visa extensively, not once, but more than once. So we have visit visa application, now we refuse you. Now we perceive we sign here more. First of all, making sure that there's a change in your circumstance. Because only the same documents required, you will get the same results. And so circumstance as a sign, and near so yen said, as a so mom said, look, application I made is based on a different set of evidence. Now, you always have to address the reasons for the first refusal. And to some can say, salary no SSA, we new application. Try to explain the na salary no SSA. Sometimes we have wages, we have salaries. Sometimes the monthly income is exactly the same every month, £1,500, £1,500, 1,500. Sometimes too, based on the tax deductions and calculations, Nancy, another figures change, the net figure changes. So please explain it to the Home Office caseworker in your covering letter. Say, I work with this company. This is how much I get paid. This is what shows in the account. And then, of course, you can explain monthly. And as a open poor, some more accountant, you have an accounting section of your company. Let the accountant write a letter to probably explain why the little changes in your salary. This is an extra mile you have to go. So I'm going to remember some explanations now. Then you are on a better ground if you apply again. Always address the reasons for the previous refusal so that they will not go back and just fetch the same refusal decision and give to you again. Address it, point it out, make the corrections, tell them that they were wrong or they were right, and then on that basis, you can make a new application. The caseworker will consider it, make a decision to give it to you, or otherwise. It all depends on how you present your case with the supporting documents. Nana says,
Also, yeah.
my last question, lawyer. Anyway, do you by chance know how the Home Office knows you overstayed your visa through, though you still return to Ghana? Well, yeah, that's a very good question. Very, very good question as to how they know whether you return or not. Now, the whole system is connected now. Very easy. The same way say, oh, but and I will too quiet as I said, Uta will take it ahead of time. As I said, airlines, and they will take it, and as I said, list. You said they have a list of people who are traveling. Every airline will have to provide a list of travelers, and they run it across to see people's criminal records, people's the previous history. That is why sometimes we'll be able to quiet get a list of money to because of criminal record and not be visa. The same way they can randomly run your name and date of birth in the system. I bet me picky when you went out because all the airline air call, so it can easily show say these dates now who call it. Sometimes, so that is one way they can find out. Sometimes randomly, so we do normal will say visa any passport more. they can stop you and take your fingerprint. Some of you fingerprinter, and no, it has logged you in the system. As long as on my fingerprint, it shows the day you left the UK. So any other application you make, it will reflect. So either they can do it by entering your details, your date of birth, your name in their logbook or in their catalog or in their system. It can pull it out. It will show the airline with which you left the UK with, or if your fingerprint was taken, it can also come up. If your fingerprint was not taken, then they may just do their checks on their system. If they don't do that and they don't check with any fingerprint that wasn't taken, certainly not taken, so they can't check, then you don't have a problem. So, yes, randomly they can pick and choose as to whether or not you should be. I mean, they can check whether you left on time or you didn't leave on time. They can always check these things. They can always
But
check.
lawyer, me bisa we me fi say easy mom because uba krono mo na u free ma airport no passport no slotty.
Exactly.
And they will know so this guy is going out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the system they'll get all the information. So if
They have it, yeah. So they can know whether you overstayed or whatever it is. They can find out, and then they can easily make the look. The world has become so small now.
Global village. Yeah.
Global village. Everything with a click of a button, they can find out so much about you. So it's possible they can check it.
Yo, ever could see David Villas day. I say good evening, lawyer. Also good evening, Kusi. I came with school visa, but I'm not schooling. I don't have a wife. I don't have a child. Can I have a stay, please? Student visa allow access to switch. Inti what is a student visa and a bar chrome hanuma, it doesn't mean say ultimate switch. But men train money who and son why you be. Although uni wife, uni akolano, say upe say o switch it to other categories of the visa, i.e. a bet me a fain washia will be na mopesa muya warrior. As long as a student visa name we know, ube to me our UK ha. Now, would the sit now on the basis of a partner route? That means I will switch it from the student visa to a partner route. On the other hand, say, hey, bia, only obey shiem na kolabem, na pese obe wari obani, so now ube jina akolani, so the ajin grata. Ube to me yet, and also switching from the student route to a parent route. Then also ma wakwan just say ubejina obane so na odi age enkrata wo ho. And yeah starting the lawyer wisdom bo other categories of visas abetimi aso eche. Student visa ka ho ubetumi se okonya care yini bia work ani bi na o se obema sponsorship COS ni a. And also betimi aso eche. Indeed, there are so many ways, but the mechanic say I was said bibia no usiki legal advice. And Sana won't make any effort.
Thank you, Lawyer Francis. What can be? I just want to clarify there clearly, or say, so what can I say? Or to switch it from student to a warrior. Now, you can say the line at twice here say, a warrior, and yet krata a warrior. Now, Uncle Castle Lawyer Francis said, "Wait to me, a warrior." Yeah, the Uber, it is some questions. Answers now, dear Mayano. I know the original soup near the with and it's yes, Lawyer Francis, actually, Senior Embrano, I take and take the percent. Member a honor at the whole claim. Lawyer Francis, my clarification.
I don't know. I want to clarify.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord Richie again. I'll say thank you for your explanation. Please, can a UK overstayer apply for a Canadian or American student visa from the UK, or he has to go back to Ghana to apply from there? Well, it's going to be almost impossible because what I would need crata. Once you overstay, and you're likely somebody will now they are called US and Canada, they may require you to go back to your home country to apply from there. The same way, if there's a you another country. Now no super so baha UK so on person just say was sitting on one sana or bahana. And the same way the US and the Canadians they want to see and Canada want to see say who will come her legally and sana what to me at the service and at the amount that work either US or Canada. And Mr. Inketia
Isaac, yeah.
Leah Francis, can you help him with that, please?
Yeah, Inkatia Isaac, good evening. Good evening to you also. Also, were Abu Dhabi as a security guard, and our wife, your nurse, Ghana. More ba, and our person who say, obey me, no, wish you relocated to UK and yo, akwan jawo ho, o wife bet me you soon in nursing, no, but I was say meet criteria, no requirements. For how long our wife why nurse in it for? And no na was see you. Na and no beboa, sir, I was say well yeah is it CTS any English language I was so track level B1 all these things, So to me, and our year nursing for more than 2 years, acquire Jawo, obey me apply UK NHS Nibi. A year now they want direct, say, we be apply than say, the better agent. So, because agent, I mean, can't say me good agent for a job, but there is a possibility, say, Oko more straighter NHS now, Ubenya Jumano, normal referral to. Omo agent omo be process your application amount. So omo nibia they can ask you by issuing you certificate of sponsorship COS no. Now wakase pe lawyer no nyama and I say wow betumi aya. Ti what it is ni say in Kati Isaac possible say wife no person relocate eba UK through the nursing program now a work UK nibi.
Nana says, my overstay was largely based around COVID time where it was quite difficult to travel. Is it true overstayers around that time uh, were given special dispensation and the overstay will be overlooked? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a catchment time that people who overstayed by virtue of the lockdown, who couldn't travel out of the UK or come in. Obviously, nobody was coming in, nobody was going out. There was a period. I can't remember exactly when the end date was, but yes, there was a bit of relief during that time. If it was over that time, then certainly it will not be used against you. If the overstay was during the COVID time when nobody could travel out, then it will not be used against you. So that shouldn't be a problem at all.
Nice one, lawyer Wisdom Akaho, wise man solicitors. On it, lawyer Francis. We heavy pa. And no more bojuma more fire. Mutu no by combination na aya tight. Combination no aya tight. It's nice for my idea. I think there's more further questions. You know, person will be some maybe contact number to screen this so bet me I get in touch with them. Numbers na screen so say kasa ni nyina na me display screen so no obi am be WhatsApp me kan tell me so hu number because
Lawyer Francis
numbers
Company Home say M say the account next week.
okay so lawyer Francis bet me about numbers no say bet me about the numbers na they are two screen so no so no problem but contact number na no lawyer Francis bet me about number na me fanka screen so am me there to so no problem
Okay.
bet me there to comment section also obubo what the obubo plus 447 and then plus 4479
779. Hold on, 07. Maybe I feel my number.
okay.
I mean, come on. Right?
What my kind? Because I just spoke to them.
Okay, plus 44 then
794
uh-huh
677
677
uh-huh
2439.
2439.
439. Okay, so comment section no and I'm about one into omo share Facebook ni YouTube nya no lawyer Francis na ma na me dey ato no maybe try na me next week e be to screen so be. So madam ma say more further questions be am pesa mo bi so mo and the time no it is 5:30 to 7. It is some questions no I hope say be ma obisa questions am obisa nya answer say when one answer and answer my van to screen so maybe next week and I'll be follow up from there next week, you know. But one thing, so and main country lawyer wisdom ne lawyer Francis say feedbacks be a meaning from one or two people be about some of the UK lawyers, you know. Our mother there be more some of them. You need to know break contact me say me there. I no go do. But ebi mu adi ebi mu sika, but omo wrong movement. But me, say me the obi ba screw way so na me catch us say use this person now. Me for obi aga can say use this person. That means say me ma kono ho be 2 times and 3 times. Tell me call UK. Me in the office, me ni mejumo ye, me ni the pressure da no so, me ni busy said me ni go for serve you omo. Onye cut shortcut cut connection that be but wo omo am frɛ be bi mo di complain ma me na me ko hu we mi wo bi wa na ye oni nkofo bi ye we o TV Facebook me ko hu lawyer we wa di mi £600 wa je bi sika say ade no so anye adwuma nti me de eni nti na me ni omo ye program no o ye expert oni lawyer Francis omo bo adwuma wise man solicitors nti me kan for ma so person who hear information be a contact omo but mom no advice be a hear bia no omo ba say a free o omo madwuma no me ne omo betena na omo kasa obi so question okasa no o free akwa o ko friend no ya ono pressure dey bia no go for friend nti we book appointment. That is what I know. It I say no o question bia o person obi sana na we bisa no. And yes, later obakoti will be obi say ade aye educative program be brain no omo mbeti o no obakoti connection man later no we just say onyame some connection man chop my money where why we be the questions I say we say no atro the point na we oninya no obakati say connection man be dilisika enti we mu no after hase lawyers we mu after hase no kai say who come message o man from my appointment o enti Friday bia no 5:30 minimum aha. Question bia obi bisa the person who bia dey bisa obi you ano. Iti lawyer wisdom akaoni lawyer Francis. But last message ni Sunday amedama say. Nyame adoma next week Friday be say share.
Yo, for and after for it, I must say, Debia Friday. Move back for this is education, yeah, for educating you, and say, obi your questions, we are just saying, yeah, Papa, DJ, Nyame, Akana, boss, no, only boss, no, say, only a sending link, that's an answer at me about so
This one.
So, any questions, sir? And any particular area, move say, discuss here, Muma. DJ Nyame Ehua, then we can also address it. Apart from that, feel free, book appointment, call us. Some more UK, and of course, if you're outside, but you're my family member, however, when you can see list of documents near there. The papam ni yepe, the papam and yepe. A bit maybe tonight, Yanimha, or so classica, lawyer application, my country said, mean to me, because me, yeah, it will be refused straight away. But we prefer say you hear the right thing rather than to twist people's arms to take their money. Lawyer Francis and myself, we've worked together and we are still here to help. We are here to help. If you have any questions, please send them off today up to Friday. Not your bad next week, lawyer and DJ Nyame or the Betuja Amai. Lawyer Francis, oh, we can say, with media account, you don't want to say, Nyame, I don't know that's a net. You sign picture. Lawyer Francis, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. What summarizing Nina, but the Amipesa medical one is we are helping our community. baby I will be because sana DJ nyame eka no oba ko hu connection ma na wa say ade ne poto na o de wo how be ma DJ nyame no so ato ama yen senka at least ube hu lawyer ka we nyina no because uba ye wa ye ne ube ye mpense mu ni a kyerɛw ehia sɛ wo application wo de bɛkɔ documents wey wo de bɛka ho ɛbɛyɛ kama me boss or kyerɛw ade a ɔne okɔ teacher training ankasa o what the paper ne pen to hɔ no wɔ kyerɛ what the diagram na kyerɛ adeɛ inti uba ye hɔ deɛ at least ansa na be free hɔ no wote deɛ wo deɛ nti a uba hɔ no ne ya kyerɛw ɛkwan e be fa so ayɛ sɛ plan ayɛ sɛ wanya visa a pɛ sɛ ɔba abrokyire no definitely uba go for plane na plane bia na abefa say so hwɛ usika say na usika ne be so for flight no but all these things na make no be say kyerɛ sɛ yenye careful about nkrofo a use omo ye o application amount and one thing I make away nyina yo yeah that's it your listeners ne ahwefo say at least my boy my the program na ba wie that's ne oba de the chain a ye be say hia DJ nyame also na say nkoma o why
Lawyer Francis
Yes,
ma me bi say ade bi o office door no ntum ye on
I don't know it's Rihanna. What you know is beyond me.
Office door no ntum ye ntina door no ntum say my feedback no because o kasa eba lawyer wisdom o and say my feedback
Obey me, tia. Why?
that's it meaning say ben but what to way ni ma Emma, but who to win here? It's all because I know.
Yo, next time I too why?
Me na want some about so next week. You best clear into me. I say, guys, me na want to SBTV Africa. Next week, nyame aduma me ne omo beba so. Fam DJ nyame. Onim say me channel we so there. Me try say me de ma be educate mo. Ade e beboa na me ye. Me the nyama bebre nkofo bebre connection bi be frame me nya connection you want travel guidelines me so me nya no so what I say ene na me de ne say bi de obi be ba sa na be ya say me nya obi a me ne be ba obetimi abo ba me be bisa me nkofo bebre bisa me nya connect I don't know obi betimi bisa you no get no connection man way you go do this thing for me you go do me nya sa de no me sramo enti me de omo a say me hwa a say me nyom be ba bia next month no me the lawyer AK Poku beba biom US na me try so na me ne Steven Awudi so aba biom Canada na Aisha de waboko me hwese me hu na me de Aisha so aba na wa be educate mu nti bibia ese ohu bia no about travel mu amu so mo kro no mo de ade amu hia Aisha so wabo ankofo bebre na ada we mu so information amu hia no me try kra me the other countries nya de beba se na be ya ebetimi aboa o order na bia o hia bi information bi ni ade cause nkofo bebre good line so no mudu pi nkofo bebre so intimi before me do be ba me make sure say deeper way no ye oba be boa anya ade oba be ye o nti we mu the wise smart solicitors o me good nti o UK a contact o so link o mo obi no mo mwa nipa no bo so mo ngu eni mase madam production team as DJ Click Sharon and Atina. I'm subscribe to your channel for more. If I'm DJ Nyame, we share more chroma. I said tour. I'm just tour. So tour, my crowd.